Thank you, Matt. Sorry for being late. Had another commitment. Not used to having press conferences on Tuesday. I'll be glad when they start going on Mondays in the future. Played at Louisiana Monroe on Thursday night, a team that was picked third in the league, and they shot the ball extremely well. I think they were coming in shooting 23% from three-point range. They shoot 60. Shoot 52 for the game, but they're 9 for 15 from three. We're 2 of 18. There's your game right there. 21-point differential from the three-point line. We lose the game by 11. We out-rebounded those guys. We've out-rebounded every opponent we've played. Had less turnovers, did some good things, but we shot a poor percentage, took some bad shots, and didn't defend well enough to win. Their 2 all-conference preseason picks, Ding and Coppola, had career highs, 30 and 19. And our guys did not play as well or didn't shoot the ball as well as we'd hoped. Coming home, reviewing the film on Friday, gave the guys off Saturday, Sunday to get prepared for their exams. We practiced yesterday, actually went outside, had a nice day to practice, went over to the blacktop across from Bourgeois, put in some offense and defense. Got loose for about 50 minutes and went back inside the dome and had a nice workout. We'll continue workouts today at 4 when the players are available after exams. It's in preparation for McNeese tomorrow. McNeese will come in ready to play. They've got a good club. They're young, have played a difficult schedule, lost at LSU by a dozen, got beat bad at Oklahoma, a team that's capable of going to the Final Four this year out of the Big 12, and beat Dillard by 1, lose at home to LC, a really good team. And if you go back to our LC game, if you want to compare that game and some of the success we've had, Louisiana College was 1 for 14 from 3. It's kind of like 2 for 18. And that's about the only team that we've defended well from 3 all year because everyone else lights it up against us. And McNeese is capable of doing that. They're averaging 7.2 makes per game from 3. But they lost a close game to Louisiana College by 3. They turned around and lose to Texas State at home by 3, and then they lost their last game at Central Michigan by 1. They were down and made a furious comeback and had a chance to win the game late. They're finishing exams today. We're in the middle of ours. So that hopefully will not affect how we prepare for this game tomorrow. On Thursday, we'll continue to take exams, and Friday we get out of exams at 4:30 on Friday. We'll have a quick practice and then go to Ruston for a game at noon. On Saturday, that will be televised by the ASN network, I believe, through Conference USA. We're excited about playing up in North Louisiana again. We didn't play very well the other night. We're looking forward to going back and playing like we did 2 years ago. The team there has had a really good home record. I think they'd won 23 in a row. When we beat them last time, they haven't lost since. So it's one home game they've lost in 3+ years. And they're off to a good start. They're coached by Eric Conkle, who was associate head coach at Miami under Jim Larinaga. So assume they have Miami's scouting report when we go up there. We're looking forward to those 2 games. And then as Matt said, next week we won't meet. We'll head to UCLA to play a game in historic Pauley Pavilion. I played there once before the renovation, so I'm excited going back and seeing the venue, and then also going to Pepperdine, one of the most beautiful campuses in the country, and been there several times but never coached a game there. So excited about playing there. Pepperdine has a very good team and a senior-laden team that's picked high in the West Coast Conference behind Gonzaga and St. Mary's and BYU. So they're set to have a good season. We'll come home and turn around and play New Orleans on Monday. We're excited to get UNO back on the schedule. Play those guys here the 21st before we break for Christmas. Questions?
Is there anything that when you look at a point in film as to why teams are being able to shoot well from 3-point?
Well, they're just making shots. Again, 23%. They go 9 for 15. They're taking deep threes, shots we want them to take. Some of the guys, Travis, and they're making shots. Our goal is to run guys off the 3-point line, and that's what we'll try to do tomorrow. But this year, when you run guys off the 3-point line and you guard the dribble, a lot of times there's a whistle. And I'll say this, the game in Monroe, I think Jay was the only guy in this room and Matt that were there, but it was not called like the first few games were called. It was totally different. It was a very physical game. So I think it's still game to game to see how the whistle goes. But we're kind of caught in between, and I don't want to make an excuse, but we've got to find a way to make guys miss from three, and we've also got to make them put it down and take a tough two.
Is that frustrating because you've been told to play it, defend it one way, and then it flip-flops, and I guess now you're kind of in no man's land figuring out what's going to happen going
Well, and after the Monroe game, I told the team that we give up 52%, I think, from the floor and 60 from three, 80 from the line. I mean, if you shoot better from three than you do two and you shoot 50%, I mean, that's a problem. And in a tournament situation or elimination game, then that will send you home.
Practice outside yesterday. What was the guys? How often do you do that?
It's the first time that we've done it. Certainly this year. I've wanted to do it in the past. We normally look to do it in February when it warms up in late February. But the weather's been so nice, and guys have been cooped up, Luke, for exams, studying a little bit. At least I hope they have been. I know that we're Sunday night at study hall, and just to change the pace, to get them out of the routine a little bit. And we had a good spirited practice yesterday, and the guys are usually focused during exam week. It's sometimes not what you'd think. Instead of thinking about their tests, they come in and I think they're glad to get to a comfortable place in a comfortable environment where they can let their hair down and not worry about exams for a couple of hours. And going outside in the sunshine certainly helped that.
Coach, I know you told Jay and your coaches show that the team's been shooting really well in practice, but how, I guess, frustrating is it to not see that translate to the floor, and how do you kind of try to spark that?
It's part of it. We shot the ball extremely well at shooting practice against Monroe and just didn't make them in the game. It's something that once we start getting something to drop, they'll fall into place. Again, we led the league last year in three-point shooting. I'm not concerned about that.
Especially since we're not going to be here next week, what do you think when you look down and see UCLA Kentucky result? And what are the guys thinking about? I know it's getting ahead, but what are the guys thinking about going to a place like that?
We were getting on the bus, and Jay mentioned, said, I know you probably don't care, but UCLA beat Kentucky, so that was the first I'd heard of it the other night, which is good. It's good for our RPI, certainly. And if you look at the schedule we've played, even Monroe has a very good RPI, playing a home game. Not many people are going to win at Monroe. And I'll say this, too. If we'd played that game in January, middle of January, I think we'd have had a better opportunity. But, again, it is what it is. We picked that date. It doesn't matter. But it's a good RPI game for us, like Alabama's beating some people. Miami, we told you, had a good club. They're in the top 25. So the way that the opponents are playing and the schedule they're playing is certainly helping us. We haven't talked to the guys about going to California yet. Certainly they're focused on the game this week, tomorrow against McNeese, and then on Saturday afternoon. But I think they're excited to get away, Tim, for a trip, with exams over, and a chance to really focus on basketball and relax and see some good weather. Maybe that was getting them ready for the weather yesterday. I don't know.
What worries you most about McNeese?
Chance that they make a lot of three-point shots. Burr's a really good shooter. Greenwood's a young guy that can shoot the ball. Poche's shooting it better than he ever has. They have some guys that can shoot the three-point shot. As I mentioned, they're averaging 7.2 makes per game. Our goal is usually 5 or less. We need to run them off the three-point line. And if a group shoots 25 threes, they're going to make 5, right? I mean, they're going to make some. You're not going to shut anybody out. So we want to limit them with a low number of attempts. Bobby's the best thing.
How big is the stretch for this team? Because you have 2 in-state rivals, and then you go in a big West Coast swing and play a perennial power like UCLA. Just kind of for continuity, for chemistry, for everything. Is this a big stretch coming forward, getting ready for something else?
No, it is. Absolutely, Travis. And we were hoping that we would beat Monroe and get a leg up. I don't think many conference teams will win in Monroe, and we were hoping to get one and get out of there and sit atop the standings for a month, and then continue to play well in the state. That was our goal, was to sweep Louisiana. And we're not going to have that option now, but we're certainly going to try to pick it up where we left. And then all these road games in a row. I mean, starting with 10 out of 15 on the road, it's a tough chore. And we need to have some success. We've got a good team. We need to have some success and grow from this trip and this stretch of games.
What's made Louisiana Tech so difficult to play on their home court?
I've only been up there once, Luke. I've seen a few games. They've had a good schedule. Their conference has not been very strong. Some things have fallen right for them, but then again, they've beaten a lot of teams. And they did beat Arlington out of our league a couple of weeks ago as part of that tournament. I mentioned to Jay last night that we were initially in that tournament that Arlington was in. Arlington beat Ohio State, Memphis, Grambling, and lost to Tech at Ruston. And Louisiana Tech wanted that game to not be a part of our series. So basically they asked me to come to Ruston 2 years in a row, and I just don't think I can handle that. So once is enough every other year for me. So we were not in the tournament, and Tech jumped in. But they did beat Arlington in the tournament. They've got two guys back that have a lot of experience. Alex Hamilton's a very good player from Chipley, Florida, in the Panhandle, which ironically our signee Herman Williams is playing at Chipley tonight. It's a big game in the Panhandle. And texted with him and his coach this morning about that ball game tonight. But Alex Hamilton's a good returning player. And then also Eric McCree had a very good game here. Their four-man, his junior college player, came in, and he played well last year for them in the Cajun Dome. They lost Speedy Smith, who was Conference USA Player of the Year. They lost to their point guard. They also lost Raheem Appleby, who was an all-conference player, and then Michael Kaiser, who was a shot blocker. So they've got a couple new guys in the starting lineup. And to be honest, I haven't focused that much on them. I'll start on Thursday morning.
The way the series is going with Tech, with you guys being able to win in Ruston and really kind of in many ways dominate, how good is this as far as Tech and the Cajuns basketball rivalry kind of being renewed over the last couple of years?
We're excited about it. Again, I spoke with Jay last night on the radio. We talked about the opportunity to get the schedule back in order. I didn't realize that it was such an old rivalry. The rivalry I knew was from Northeast Louisiana when I was there as a GA with Coach Viney, and we played Tech in a non-conference game. It was a big game as well. But it's important. Mike White did not want to play initially out of respect to me, I think, and trying to get his program going, but then he did agree to play, and it's been a good series. Two good teams that have gone at it, and we're looking forward to continuing the series. So I'm glad that it's being played and glad that it's going to continue moving forward.
Do you take any different approach whatsoever to a non-conference game versus a conference game, or is it exactly the same?
Pretty much the same. That's a good question, Tim. It depends. The Monroe game, certainly we tell the guys, any road game, you've got one opportunity to go to this venue. I mean, it's the only time we come to Monroe, and not many people are going to win here. We need to win. We didn't win the game. Afterwards, I explained to the guys why we didn't win in the locker room and said, we're going to win the other game on I-20 next week, but this one, I would have rather had this one, But Tech almost feels like a conference game sometimes because of the rivalry, and football's been playing again the last couple of years, and certainly we've reestablished our series with those guys.
Coach, you guys have been rebounding the ball so well. Is that part of the reason why you're not so worried about the shots if they start to fall? You think everything was kind of clicking into place?
Well, hope so, but more concerned with defense, obviously, and taking care of the ball. We took pretty good care of the ball the last two games, so that hadn't been a big issue. But we don't spend a lot of time rebounding in practice. We've got guys who can go get it. I mean, you're looking at the school's leading rebounder every night, and he's going to gobble up several. And we've got some other guys that can go fetch it as well. So that's one area that I feel very strongly about, that we can compete. We've out-rebounded every opponent we've played so far. That's a good sign. And we've got a big advantage over McNeese, and we need to show that tomorrow.
Defensively, typically when you have seniors, they're comfortable, they know what to do on the floor defensively, where to put guys. Do you think that this year's maybe kind of affecting them and they don't have that luxury because everyone's still trying to figure out what they can and can't do?
Some of the new guys, especially the junior college players, Tyrone Wooten and Jay Hedgeman, are still learning the system. They're making some mistakes defensively and offensively, both. Yet they're still contributing. Tyrone had a good first half up at Monroe, and then Jay came and had a good second half for us. So we're still learning, trying to get better. We spent a lot of time on defense, and I'm ready for the results to start showing.
You guys are about to be on the road for like 3 weeks. That big long stretch of time. How do you prepare the guys mentally for that, where they're not going to be home for long stretches of time and not going to be playing in front of a friendly crowd, I guess?
Just make sure they bring enough clothes, you know. Teach them how to pack. What do we talk about, Tim? You have wallets and passports and driver's license, and you know. But no, we have to remind them every year to make sure they've got their identification. And we actually went to Miami, and Coach Murphy got a call at 2 a.m. that Jay Hedgeman couldn't find his driver's license, so we had to talk him through. But just the opportunity to go play, and it doesn't matter where you play, the best team's going to win. You know, that's one thing about our sport. I guess it would be similar to football, but with baseball having different distances and configurations with their fields and Towels Hill or whatever, it makes it a little bit unique. But the goal's always 10 feet high, and the court's the same. It's just like Hoosiers. So hopefully our defense will travel. Maybe we need to pack our defense. That'd be a good idea. I think I'll bring that up. Let's see if we can get it going tomorrow and take it with us on this trip. But it is a good time to travel, Luke, being away from school. We haven't missed much school this year. Ironically, Saturday will be our first and only Saturday game of the semester, which I've never had that happen before. It's very unusual.
All right, everybody good?
Thanks, guys.